The alarm bells rang through the huge space station. Red lights flashed in every hallway. Daeho ran toward the emergency meeting room as fast as his long legs could carry him. His blue skin was sweating, and his 4 arms moved quickly as he tried to organize his papers while running. Something terrible was happening in the galaxy. The emergency call had come just 20 minutes ago. All council members had to come to the station right away. No delays, no excuses. Daeho reached the big round room where the Galactic Council met. The room was already full of aliens from different worlds. Some had scales, some had fur, some looked like walking trees. All of them looked worried and scared. "Thank you for coming so quickly," said the council leader. She was a tall being with silver skin and glowing eyes. "We have received very bad news from the outer edge of our galaxy. There is a small yellow star system called Sol. A species called humans lives on the 3rd planet from their star. Daeho knew about humans. They were a young species. The council had been watching them for about 50 years, but had never made contact. The humans did not know that other intelligent life existed in the galaxy." "What happened to them?" asked a voice from the back of the room. The council leader looked very sad. "It appears they are under attack. A massive alien invasion is happening on their planet right now." The room became very quiet. Everyone was shocked. Who would attack such a young species? The humans had no space technology. They could not defend themselves against advanced aliens. "How do we know this?" Daeho asked. Min-A, the chief communications expert, stood up. She was small and green with big black eyes. Her job was to listen to radio signals from different worlds. "I have been monitoring their communications for research purposes. 3 days ago, their emergency broadcasts increased by 400%. She pressed a button, and sounds filled the room. It was a human voice speaking in their language. The translation, computer made the words clear for everyone to understand. "The assault on the beaches continues. Massive casualties reported. Bodies everywhere. The aerial bombardment has been going on for hours." Everyone in the room gasped. Another voice came through the speakers. "The fighters are down. Multiple impacts. Emergency teams are moving in. This is the worst assault we have seen in years." Min-A turned off the recording. "These messages are coming from all over their planet. Not just one location. The entire world is under attack." Hyunwoo stood up. He was the military advisor from the Vegan Alliance. He had fought in 3 galactic wars and knew about warfare. His red skin was darker than usual, which meant he was very angry. "This is horrible," he said. "The humans have no spaceships, no energy shields, no plasma weapons. They are helpless against any species with advanced technology." "Who could be doing this?" asked someone. "We don't know," the council leader said. "Our long-range sensors have not detected any alien fleets near their system, but the attacks are clearly happening." Daeho listened to more recordings. The humans were reporting explosions, aerial attacks, and mass destruction. They talked about incoming missiles and defensive positions. It sounded like a full-scale war. "We have to help them," Daeho said. "The Galactic Council has a duty to protect young species from advanced attackers." Many council members agreed. The rules were clear. When an advanced species attacked a primitive one, the council had to step in. It was the most important law in galactic society. But some members disagreed. "This could be dangerous," said an alien with tentacles for arms. "If we don't know who is attacking the humans, we might be walking into a trap." "What if this attacking species is more advanced than us?" asked another. "What if they have weapons we have never seen?" Min-A played more recordings. The human voices sounded desperate and afraid. "Emergency services are overwhelmed. The assault continues on multiple fronts. Repeat, this is not a drill. Mass casualties in the northern sector. We need immediate evacuation. The bombardment has destroyed everything. Nothing is left standing." The room was silent except for the terrible human voices. Everyone could hear the fear and panic. These were people who thought they were about to die. Hyunwoo banged his fist on the table. "We cannot sit here and listen to an entire species being destroyed. Even if it's dangerous, we have to try to help them." "But we don't know anything about the attackers," said another council member. "They might have weapons that could destroy our entire fleet." "Then we bring our biggest fleet," Hyunwoo said. "We bring every ship from every member world. We make a rescue fleet so large that no one would dare attack it." The council leader looked around the room. All in favor of sending a rescue mission to the human homeworld? Almost every hand, tentacle, claw, and appendage went up. Only 3 members voted no. It is decided, the council leader announced. We will send the largest rescue fleet in galactic history to save the humans from this attack. Deho felt proud of his fellow council members. This was what the galaxy was supposed to do. Help those who could not help themselves. Protect the weak from the strong. I will lead the fleet, Hyunwoo said, but I want to choose my own commanders. Agreed, said the council leader. You have full authority to organize this mission. Take whatever ships and personnel you need. Minnie raised her hand. I should come too. I understand human communications better than anyone. You will need me to talk to any survivors. Good idea, Hyunwoo said. Anyone else? Several other experts volunteered. Medical officers to treat wounded humans, engineers to help rebuild their cities, scientists to study the alien attack methods. As the meeting ended, Deho felt both hope and fear. Hope that they could save the humans in time. Fear about what kind of enemy could attack a defenseless planet. How long will it take to assemble the fleet? He asked Hyunwoo. 72 hours, the military commander replied. Every member world is sending their best ships. This will be the largest fleet ever assembled for a rescue mission, Deho nodded. I hope we're not too late. So do I, Hyunwoo said, looking at the star charts. The human system is 18 light years away. If we leave in 3 days, we can be there in 6 days total. Minnie was still listening to more human transmissions. Her face looked very worried. The attacks are getting worse, she said. They're reporting massive explosions all over their planet. Cities are being destroyed. Millions of people are in danger. Then we better hurry, Deho said. As he left the meeting room, Deho wondered what they would find when they reached the human world. Would there be any humans left to save? Would they arrive to find only ruins and empty cities? The next 3 days would be the longest of his life. But he knew they were doing the right thing. The galaxy had to protect its younger species. No matter what the cost. Little did Deho know that everything they thought they understood about the situation was completely wrong. Commander Jinsu stood on the bridge of the massive warship Thunder of Vega. Around him, screens showed hundreds of other ships from 23 different worlds. This was the largest rescue fleet ever assembled in galactic history. 847 ships flew together through the darkness of space. Warships to fight off the attackers, medical ships to help wounded humans, transport ships to carry refugees to safety, engineering ships to rebuild destroyed cities. Status report, Jinsu said to his crew. All ships are in formation, reported, his second-in-command. We will reach the human system in 14 hours. Jinsu nodded. He was a veteran of many wars. His gray skin was covered with scars from battles across the galaxy. But he had never led a rescue mission this important before. Any new communications from the human planet? He asked. Subin, the chief medical officer, looked up from her station. Her orange fur was standing up, which meant she was stressed. The emergency broadcasts are still coming in. The attacks are continuing. She played the latest recording. Human voices filled the bridge, speaking their strange language. The translation computer made the words clear. Massive casualties reported at the impact site. Emergency teams are responding. This is the worst assault we've seen. Multiple strikes. Confirmed! The bombardment continues. All units fall back. We have people down. Heavy casualties. Medical teams needed immediately. Subin turned off the recording. I've prepared medical facilities for 1 million refugees, she said. Our best doctors from 12 different worlds are ready to help. Jinsu felt sick hearing the human voices. They sounded so afraid and desperate. He had fought against many enemies, but attacking defenseless people was the most evil thing he could imagine. Commander, called Tae-young from the sensor station. He was young and had never been in a real battle before. I'm not detecting any alien fleets near the human system. What do you mean? Jinsu asked. Our long-range sensors show no large groups of ships anywhere near their planet. If there's an invasion happening, where are the attacking ships? Jinsu thought about this. It was strange. Usually, an invasion needed many ships. Transport ships, to carry troops. Warships to destroy defenses. Support ships to supply the invasion force. Maybe the attackers have stealth technology, he said. Some advanced species can hide their ships from sensors. That's possible, Tae-young agreed. But our sensors are very good. We should detect something. Subin looked worried. What if the attackers already finished their invasion? What if they destroyed the human defenses and left? Then why are the humans still broadcasting emergency messages? Asked the second-in-command. No one had a good answer. The situation was confusing and frightening. Sir, called the communications officer. I'm receiving a message from the medical ship Healing Light. Dr. Wu Jin wants to speak with you. Put him through, Jin-Soo said. Dr. Wu Jin appeared on the main screen. He was an expert in treating trauma victims from different species. Commander, I've been studying the human emergency broadcasts. Something doesn't make sense. What do you mean? The humans keep talking about casualties and impacts, but they're not describing the injuries in a way that makes sense for an alien attack. Jin-Soo leaned forward. Explain. They mention broken bones, cuts, and bruises. But in an advanced alien attack, I would expect to see energy weapon burns, radiation poisoning, or chemical damage. These humans sound like they're being hurt by primitive weapons. Maybe the attackers are using primitive weapons to make the humans suffer more, suggested Subin. That's possible, Dr. Wu Jin said. But there's something else. The timing of these emergency broadcasts is very regular. They happen at the same times every day. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's not random like a real invasion would be. Jin-Soo felt more confused than ever. Nothing about this situation made sense. But the human voices sounded real. Their fear and panic were not fake. Continue monitoring their communications, he ordered. Tell me if you notice anything else strange. Yes, sir, Dr. Wu Jin said, and his image disappeared. Jin-Soo walked to the large window at the front of the bridge. He could see the human star getting brighter as they got closer. It was a small yellow star, nothing special, but somewhere near that star was a planet full of people who needed help. Commander, Tae-young called out, I'm starting to pick up detailed sensor readings from the human system. What do you see? Their planet has normal orbital traffic, artificial satellites, space debris, no signs of damage from space battles. Maybe the attacks are only happening on the planet's surface, Jin-Soo said. That's possible. But sir, I'm detecting something else. The humans have primitive rockets. Some of them are in orbit around their planet right now. Subin looked confused. If their planet is under attack, why haven't the attackers destroyed their orbital facilities? I don't know, Jin-Soo admitted. Nothing about this makes sense. The communications officer spoke up. Sir, I'm receiving new human broadcasts. They sound different from before. Play them, Jin-Soo ordered. This time, the human voices sounded excited instead of afraid. What an incredible display. The crowd is going wild. This is the most amazing assault we've ever seen. The fighters are really going at it. The impact was tremendous. Both competitors are still standing. Ladies and gentlemen, this aerial bombardment is spectacular. The precision is absolutely perfect. Everyone on the bridge looked confused. These humans sounded happy and excited, not afraid and desperate. Play the emergency broadcasts again, Jin-Soo said. The communications officer switched to the other channel. Now the humans sounded scared again. Emergency teams responding to multiple casualties. This assault has caused severe damage. Medical personnel needed immediately. The impacts have been devastating. Jin-Soo was completely confused. Are these the same humans? According to our computers, both signals are coming from the same planet, the communications officer said, but they sound completely different. Some humans sound happy about these assaults, and others sound terrified. Tae-young looked up from his sensors. Commander, I think I understand. I'm detecting multiple broadcast sources on their planet. Some are emergency frequencies, and others are entertainment frequencies. Entertainment? Subin asked. It appears that humans broadcast entertainment shows about violence and fighting. Maybe we're hearing both real emergency reports and fake entertainment programs. Jin-Soo felt a little relieved. That would explain why some humans sounded excited. About the attacks, they were just watching fake violence for fun. So the real attacks are the emergency broadcasts and the entertainment broadcasts are fake, he said. That seems right, Tae-young agreed. But deep down, Jin-Soo still felt confused. He had fought in many wars and seen many strange things. But something about this situation felt different. Wrong somehow. How long until we reach their planet? He asked. 8 hours, sir. Good. Signal all ships. We'll enter their atmosphere and begin rescue operations as soon as we arrive. Yes, sir. Jinsu looked out at the human star again. Soon they would learn the truth about what was happening on the human world. He just hoped they weren't too late to save whoever was still alive. But as their fleet got closer to Earth, Jinsu began to suspect that this rescue mission would be unlike anything he had ever experienced before. The alien rescue fleet entered Earth's atmosphere expecting to see a war zone. Commander Jinsu stood on his bridge, watching the main screen as his ship descended through the clouds. He expected to see burning cities, destroyed buildings, and alien invasion forces. Instead, he saw something that made no sense at all. "What am I looking at?" he asked his crew. Tae Young stared at his sensors. "Sir, I'm detecting no alien invasion force. No destroyed cities, no weapons fire, but I am detecting large gatherings of humans in specific locations." "Show me," Jinsu ordered. The main screen focused on a large area near a body of water. Thousands of humans were gathered there, but they were not running or hiding. They were sitting in rows, watching something. "Are they prisoners?" asked Subin. "I don't think so," Tae-young said. "They appear to be there by choice. And look at this." The screen showed humans throwing themselves out of flying machines high in the sky. They fell toward the ground at incredible speed. Jinsu and his crew watched in horror, expecting the humans to crash and die. But then white fabric opened above each falling human, slowing their descent. They landed safely on the ground. Other humans cheered and clapped. "What are they doing?" Subin whispered. "Do-yun?" The fleet's expert on alien biology spoke up. His voice was shaking. I think they're doing this for fun." "That's impossible," Jinsu said. "No intelligent species would throw themselves from aircraft for entertainment." "Sir," called the communications officer, "I'm picking up human broadcasts from that location." "Play it," Jinsu ordered. A human voice filled the bridge, sounding excited and happy. "What an incredible jump. The precision is amazing. These skydivers are truly masters of their craft." "That's right, Jim. The way they control their fall is spectacular. This is the most dangerous sport in the world, and these brave men and women do it just for the thrill." The aliens on the bridge were silent. They looked at each other with growing horror. "Move to another location," Jinsu said quietly. The ship flew to a large flat area where hundreds of humans had gathered. In the center, 2 humans were hitting each other with their bare hands while thousands of others watched and cheered. "Emergency medical teams are standing by," came a human broadcast. "This fight has been brutal. Both fighters have taken tremendous punishment. The crowd is loving this violent display. Blood everywhere. What incredible warriors." Subin, the medical officer, made a sound of disgust. "They're hitting each other until they bleed, and other humans are enjoying it." "Keep scanning," Jinsu said. His voice was very quiet now. They found humans racing vehicles at incredible speeds, crashing into walls and each other. They found humans climbing tall mountains in terrible weather, many of them dying from cold and exhaustion. They found humans jumping from high places with only elastic ropes to stop their fall. "Sir," Tae-young said, his voice barely a whisper, "I think I understand what's happening. Tell me, there is no alien invasion. The humans are doing these dangerous things to themselves, on purpose, for entertainment." The bridge was completely silent. Everyone stared at the screen as more humans threw themselves from aircraft, crashed vehicles into each other, and fought with sharp metal weapons. Yejin, the cultural specialist, spoke up. "I've been analyzing their broadcasts. They have thousands of different sports that involve injury, pain, and death. They call it extreme sports, combat sports, and adventure sports." "But why?" Subin asked. "Why would any species deliberately hurt itself?" "I don't know," Yejin admitted. "Their culture appears to celebrate danger and risk. They seem to think that the more dangerous something is, the more fun it becomes." Jinsu watched the screen as humans dove into water from incredible heights. The impact looked painful and dangerous, but the humans were laughing and cheering. "Show me more," he said. They found humans deliberately exposing themselves to extreme cold, climbing frozen waterfalls with metal tools. They found humans running toward large, dangerous animals just to take pictures. They found humans eating plants that caused them obvious pain, sweating and crying while they laughed. Sir, called Wu Jin from the medical ship. I've been monitoring human emergency broadcasts more carefully. These are real medical emergencies, but they're all self-inflicted. What do you mean? The humans are getting injured during their sports and entertainment activities. They're not being attacked by aliens, they're attacking themselves. Jinsu felt sick. How many casualties? Thousands every day. Broken bones, cuts, bruises, internal injuries, all from activities they choose to do for fun. The bridge crew watched more footage. Humans were setting themselves on fire and jumping through rings of flame. Humans were racing down mountains on narrow boards, hitting trees and rocks. Humans were diving underwater without breathing equipment, many of them drowning. This is insane, Subin said. No rational species would do this. But they are rational, Do-Yun said, looking at his readings. Their brains are highly developed. They have advanced technology. They've built a complex civilization. They just choose to do incredibly dangerous things for pleasure. Ye Jin had been studying more human broadcasts. I'm finding something else disturbing. They create fictional stories about their own destruction. Movies about alien invasions, nuclear wars, zombie attacks, giant monsters destroying their cities. They imagine ways to die? Asked Jinsu. Not just imagine. They spend enormous amounts of money creating realistic depictions of their own extinction. And they enjoy watching these stories. Show me their news broadcasts, Jinsu ordered. The screen showed humans reporting on their daily activities. Jinsu expected to see normal civilization news. Instead, he saw reports about humans deliberately putting themselves in danger all over their planet. Breaking news. Mountain climber falls to death attempting new record. Race car driver survives horrific. Crash at 200 miles per hour. Extreme athlete jumps motorcycle over 20 buses. Lands in hospital. Man eaten by a shark while cage diving for fun. Every news story seemed to involve humans hurting themselves or each other, usually while other humans watched for entertainment. Sir, Tae-young said, I'm detecting something else. The humans have weapons that could destroy their entire planet. What kind of weapons? Nuclear bombs, thousands of them, pointed at their own cities. Jinsu felt his blood turn cold. They have weapons aimed at themselves? Yes, sir. And according to their broadcasts, they've come close to using them several times. They call it mutually assured destruction. Subin made a sound of horror. They've created a way to kill their entire species. And they think it keeps them safe? It appears so, Tae-young said. Jinsu walked to the window and looked down at Earth. From space, it looked like a beautiful, peaceful planet. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. But now he knew the truth. This planet was inhabited by beings who spent their time finding new ways to hurt themselves and each other. Sir, called the communications officer, I'm receiving a message from the Galactic Council. They want a status report. Jinsu thought about what to tell them. How could he explain what they had found? How could he describe a species that attacked itself for fun? Tell them. He paused. Tell them we need to speak with them immediately. Emergency priority. What should I say about the invasion? Jinsu looked at the screen again. A human was jumping from a bridge with only a rope tied to his feet. He fell toward the ground at deadly speed, stopped just before hitting, and then bounced up and down like a toy. Other humans cheered and applauded. Tell them there is no invasion, Jinsu said slowly. Tell them the humans are doing this to themselves. Sir, just send the message, and tell all ships to maintain distance from the planet. Do not, under any circumstances, make contact with the humans. Yes, sir. As Jinsu's fleet pulled back from Earth, he realized they had made a terrible mistake. They had come to rescue humans from alien attackers. Instead, they had discovered something far more frightening. The humans were the attackers. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in the organization's 1,000-year history. Ambassador Dae-ho sat in his chair, staring at the reports from Commander Jinsu's fleet. His four hands were shaking as he read the observations about human behavior. This cannot be real, said a council member with tentacles for arms. No species would do these things to itself. The council leader's silver skin had turned dark gray with worry. Commander Jinsu, please repeat. Your findings for the full council. Jinsu's image appeared on the large screen. He looked tired and disturbed. Council members, there is no alien invasion of the human homeworld. The humans are conducting what they call sports and entertainment activities that involve deliberate injury, pain, and death. Give us specific examples, demanded Hyun-woo, the military advisor. They throw themselves from aircraft thousands of feet in the air. They crash vehicles into each other at high speeds. They climb mountains in deadly weather conditions. They fight each other with weapons until they bleed. They race vehicles knowing that crashes will likely kill them. The council chamber was silent except for the sound of alien breathing. Many species were holding their breath in shock. Soo-young, the psychological warfare expert, spoke up. Commander, you're describing torture methods. Are you saying the humans torture each other? No, Jin-soo replied. They do these things voluntarily, for fun. They pay money to participate in these dangerous activities. That's impossible, said a council member with green skin. No rational mind would choose pain and danger for pleasure. I thought the same thing, Jin-soo said. But I have video evidence, thousands of hours of recordings. Min-ai, the communications expert, had been listening to human broadcasts for weeks now. I can confirm the commander's report. I've intercepted human entertainment programs that show these activities. The humans cheer and celebrate when someone gets injured. Show us, the council leader ordered, the main screen filled with images from Earth. The council members watched in growing horror as humans deliberately put themselves in danger. Humans jumping from bridges with ropes tied to their feet. Humans setting themselves on fire and jumping through burning rings. Humans racing motorcycles at incredible speeds, crashing and rolling across the ground. Humans fighting in metal cages while thousands of others watched and cheered. Turn it off, whispered a council member. I cannot watch anymore. But the images continued. Humans climbing frozen waterfalls with metal tools. Humans diving into water from heights that should kill them. Humans eating substances that caused them obvious pain and suffering. Jae-min, the stellar cartographer, was studying star charts with shaking hands. How far away from human space are our nearest colonies? Why does that matter? Asked the council leader. Because if this species ever develops space travel, we need to know how much time we have to evacuate. You think they're a threat to other species? Asked Dae-ho. Look at what they do to themselves for entertainment, Jae-min said. What do you think they would do to other species? The psychological warfare expert Soo-young had been analyzing human behavior patterns. I've studied their culture more deeply. Council members, what we've seen so far is just the beginning. What do you mean? The council leader asked. The humans have created fictional entertainment about destroying their own planet. They make movies about alien invasions, nuclear wars, zombie plagues, and giant monsters. They imagine every possible way their species could die, and they enjoy watching these stories. They fantasize about extinction? Asked a horrified council member. Yes, and they've created actual weapons that could fulfill these fantasies. Nuclear bombs capable of destroying all life on their planet. Chemical weapons that could poison their entire atmosphere. Biological weapons that could kill every living thing. The chamber filled with sounds of alien distress. Species from dozens of worlds were making their own versions of gasps, moans, and cries of fear. Why would they create such weapons? Dae-ho asked. According to their broadcasts, they believe that threatening to destroy themselves keeps them safe from other humans who also threaten to destroy themselves. That makes no sense, said the military advisor Hyun-woo. No, Soo-young agreed. It doesn't. But it gets worse. She activated another screen. The humans have something they call extreme sports. These are activities designed to be as dangerous as possible while still allowing some participants to survive. The screen showed humans jumping from aircraft without parachutes, catching parachutes thrown by other humans mid-fall. Humans racing cars through forests at night without lights. Humans diving into caves filled with water, knowing they might never find their way out. They compete to see who can endure the most danger, Soo-young continued. They give awards to whoever can survive the most life-threatening activities. Yoon-hee, from the diplomatic corps, had been quiet until now. What about their children? Surely they protect their young from these dangerous activities? Actually, no, Soo-young said. They begin training their children in dangerous activities from a very young age. They teach them to fight each other in organized competitions. They encourage them to engage in dangerous sports. They consider it character building. They deliberately endanger their own offspring? Asked a council member with fur-covered skin. Yes, they believe that exposure to danger and pain makes their children stronger and better adapted to their society. The council leader looked around the chamber. Many council members were holding their heads in their hands or making their species equivalent of despair gestures. Commander Jinsu, she called, what is your fleet's current status? We are maintaining distance from the human planet, Jinsu reported. I have ordered no contact with the humans under any circumstances. Good decision, said Jaemin. Council members, I recommend we establish an immediate quarantine around the human system. Agreed, said Yunwu. And we should place warning beacons to warn other species about the dangerous inhabitants. But they haven't actually threatened anyone else, Daeho pointed out. They only hurt themselves. So far, Yunhee said. But what happens when they develop space travel? What happens when they meet other species? Su Young brought up more data. I've analyzed their history. Whenever humans encounter other groups of humans with different cultures, there is almost always violence. They have fought wars continuously throughout their recorded history. How many wars? Asked the council leader. According to their own records, there have been over 3,000 significant armed conflicts in just the last 1,000 years of their history. They have never had a period longer than a few decades without organized violence somewhere on their planet. The chamber erupted in sounds of shock and fear. Most galactic species had eliminated war centuries or millennia ago. The idea of continuous conflict was horrifying to civilized beings. There's more, Su Young continued. They have developed weapons specifically designed to cause maximum pain and suffering. They don't just kill their enemies quickly. They create weapons that torture victims before death. Enough, said the council leader. I've heard enough. She looked around the chamber at the terrified faces of dozens of species. All in favor of establishing a 50-light-year quarantine zone around the human system? Every appendage, claw, tentacle, and hand in the chamber rose in agreement. Motion passed unanimously, the council leader announced. Commander Jinsu, withdraw your fleet immediately. All Galactic Council ships are forbidden from entering human space. Yes, ma'am, Jinsu replied. Min-A, the council leader continued. Prepare a warning message for any species that might encounter humans in the future. What should the warning say? Min-A asked. The council leader thought for a moment. Warn them that the human system contains beings who assault themselves for entertainment and have weaponized everything they can imagine. Approach with extreme caution, if at all. As the council session ended, Daeho remained in his chair, staring at the star charts. Somewhere out there was a planet full of beings who spent their time finding new ways to hurt themselves and others. For the first time in his long life, Daeho was grateful for the vast emptiness of space. The massive alien rescue fleet began its retreat from Earth's solar system. 847 ships from 23 different worlds slowly turned away from the small blue planet that had changed everything they thought they knew about intelligent life. Commander Jinsu stood on his bridge watching Earth shrink on the main screen. Part of him felt relieved to be leaving. Another part felt disturbed by what they had discovered. But a small part of him felt something he didn't understand, something that worried him. All ships report ready for jump to hyperspace, announced his second-in-command. Very good, Jinsu said. Signal the fleet. We leave this system in 1 hour. But not everyone in the fleet was ready to leave. On the medical ship Healing Light, young Gite stared at his computer screen. He had been studying human broadcasts for hours, unable to look away. He watched humans throwing themselves from mountains on thin boards, racing down steep slopes covered with snow and ice. He watched them crash into trees and rocks, get up laughing, and do it again. This is impossible, he whispered to himself. How can they enjoy this? But as he watched more, something strange happened. The humans' laughter became infectious. Their joy in the face of danger was unlike anything he had ever seen. When they crashed and got hurt, they helped each other up and celebrated surviving. Gitai called his supervisor. Stop watching those broadcasts, we're leaving. Yes, sir, Gite said, but he quietly saved copies of the human recordings to his personal files. On the communications ship's silent listener, Nari was supposed to be shutting down the monitoring equipment. Instead, she found herself listening to more human transmissions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Extreme Kayaking Championships. Today, these brave athletes will paddle down waterfalls and through dangerous rapids that have killed dozens of people. That's right, Sarah. The river they're attempting today is considered impossible to survive. But these humans are going to try anyway. Nari listened as the human athletes threw themselves into raging water, their small boats smashing against rocks. Most of them survived through skill and luck. Those who didn't survive were honored by the others as heroes. They honor those who die attempting impossible things, she said to herself. They don't mourn them. They celebrate them. She began recording everything. Human music about dangerous adventures. Human poetry about facing death with courage. Human stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary and dangerous things. Meanwhile, on the command ship, Jinsu was receiving reports from his medical staff. "Sir," said Dr. Wu Jin, "I've been analyzing human medical broadcasts. I think we need to revise our understanding of their culture." "How so?" "The humans don't just hurt themselves for fun. They use danger and pain as a way to test their limits, to see what they're capable of, to prove their worth to themselves and others." Jinsu thought about this. "You're saying the dangerous activities serve a purpose?" "Yes, sir. When humans overcome dangerous challenges, they become confident and strong. When they fail, they learn from their mistakes and try again. The danger itself makes them better. But many of them die." "True. But their society honors those who die attempting great things. Death in pursuit of a challenge is considered noble, not tragic." Jinsu felt that strange feeling again. What would it be like to face danger not because you had to, but because you chose to? What would it feel like to push yourself beyond what seemed possible? He pushed the thoughts away. Such thinking was dangerous. "Prepare the fleet for departure," he ordered. But as the alien ships prepared to leave, more crew members were being affected by what they had seen. Engineer Dong Hyun had been studying human construction projects. They built enormous structures that seemed impossible. Bridges that spanned huge distances, buildings that reached toward the sky, tunnels that went through mountains and under oceans. "They don't just accept the limits of their environment," he told his assistant. "They change their environment to match their dreams." "That's not how civilized species behave," his assistant replied. "We adapt ourselves to our environment." "But what if we're wrong?" Dong Hyun asked. "What if changing the environment instead of accepting it is what makes a species great?" On dozens of ships throughout the fleet, aliens were having similar thoughts. The humans had shown them something they had never seen before, a species that refused to accept limits, a species that turned obstacles into challenges and challenges into entertainment. As the fleet finally jumped to hyperspace, leaving Earth, far behind, the effects of their encounter began to spread. Back at the Galactic Council station, communications expert Minnie was writing the official warning message about humans. But she found herself struggling with the words. How do you warn people about a species that attacks itself for fun? How do you explain beings who celebrate danger instead of avoiding it? She wrote several drafts. Warning: dangerous species. Avoid. Contact. Caution. Psychologically unstable inhabitants. Do not approach. Alert. Hostile environment. Inhabitants engage in self-destructive behavior. None of these seemed right. Finally, she wrote, Caution. System inhabited by beings who assault themselves for pleasure. Approach with extreme psychological preparation. Inhabitants are unpredictable and may inspire dangerous behavior in observers. The warning was broadcast on all galactic frequencies and posted at the edge of human space. Giant warning beacons were placed around the solar system, flashing their message in every known language. But the warning did more than just keep ships away. It made other species curious. What kind of beings could be so dangerous that the Galactic Council itself was afraid of them? Some young aliens began secretly searching for human broadcasts. They found recordings of human sports, human adventures, human challenges, and slowly, quietly, some of them began to wonder what it would feel like to push beyond the safe limits of their own societies. On Earth, completely unaware of the galactic drama they had caused, humans continued their daily lives. They planned new extreme sports competitions. They designed more dangerous roller coasters. They argued about whether pineapple belonged on pizza. A human teenager named Jake was preparing to jump his bicycle over a row of cars. His friends thought he was crazy. His parents were worried, but Jake was excited. He had been practicing for months, and today he would find out if he could make the impossible jump. "You could get seriously hurt," his friend warned. "That's what makes it awesome," Jake replied with a grin. Thousands of light years away, young alien Gite was watching a recording of a similar human stunt. He found himself grinning too, though he didn't understand why. The galactic quarantine around Earth was complete. Humanity was isolated from the rest of the galaxy, classified as too dangerous for contact. The official reports described them as a species of dangerous madmen who attacked themselves for entertainment. But among some aliens, especially the younger ones, a different story was spreading. A story about beings who faced their fears for fun, who turned pain into strength, who chose to live dangerously rather than safely. And in the deepest parts of space, where official reports couldn't reach, some alien explorers were quietly changing course. Not toward human space, but away from the safe routes they had always traveled. They began seeking out dangerous asteroid fields just to see if they could navigate them. They started climbing the tallest mountains on their homeworlds just to prove they could. They began asking themselves a question that no civilized alien had ever asked before. What if safe isn't enough? The Galactic Council had successfully contained humanity. But they couldn't contain the idea that humanity represented. The idea that maybe, just maybe, the most dangerous thing you could do was refuse to take any risks at all. And so, while Earth spun peacefully in its quarantine zone, with humans continuing to assault themselves for pleasure, the galaxy itself began to change. One alien at a time. One dangerous idea at a time. The humans never knew they had become the most feared and secretly admired species in the galaxy. But then again, they probably would have thought that was pretty cool.